Welcome, everybody. This is the Beer Guys Radio Show, and I am over here messing up our run of show. I leaned on the space bar, and look at that.
Brian's
Brian
dropping
out
off.
already.
Wow.
Oh,
Brian
dang it.
wasted no time in crashing. So we're just going to hang here for a few minutes while Brian gets his act together. So, boy, that didn't take long. Hopefully, it's getting it out of the way there. So,
I mean,
Hang on.
he has a better
we'll
way of
see.
telling us he doesn't want to do the show.
Let me leave and come back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna now. If we go off air, that messes up the whole stream there, doesn't it, Nate?
Yep.
So I was gonna say we do that because all right. Well, y'all, we will get this together. We will get all of our ducks in a row here very soon and start talking about beer, some of the fun stuff going on out there in the industry. I'm sure there's more Oktoberfest news. There's got to be.
Gosh.
Always.
I delivered to a Total Wine yesterday, and the amount of Oktoberfest displays they had in that location alone.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, man.
Yeah, especially now because I guess I don't know the official dates this year for Oktoberfest, but once we get into August, especially creeping towards the 1st of September, they're ready to hammer it. It's I tell you, I emotionally can't handle it personally, Nate. That they start ending summer in July. Basically they start talking about back to school, summer's over. It's like, hey, just because your kids are going back to school doesn't mean the summer's over, y'all. Y'all give it a break there.
Mm-hmm. So Oktoberfest in Germany is running from September 20th to October 5th.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're talking about not being able to emotionally handle Oktoberfest, canceling summer. Didn't you post in our Patreon Discord group that you saw Christmas stuff for sale?
Yeah, there's already been I think it was what was it? Like a Hobby Lobby or something had Christmas stuff out there. And they already had the Christmas out. I remember a few years ago I was in Walmart and they just happened to be pulling like lawnmowers and weed eaters and stuff off the shelf and replacing it with the Christmas stuff. So that was interesting.
That's wild.
You had to go with the bootleg background, Brian?
I did. The virtual camera that does a far better job of like handling backgrounds. It just quit. I don't know why. It just quit, and I could not get it back on. Which is weird because it came like immediately worked, which is unusual for this software. And then it almost immediately gave up. So that's fantastic.
Do you want us to give you another minute to see if you can get working good for quality of our video feed here?
I mean,
do you not think you can? It looks pretty crappy. Yeah, it does look pretty crappy.
Yeah, does it? Okay.
Yeah, and the virtual camera is chopping out a bunch of stuff and that. But
all right, if you prefer, yes. I'll jump back out. I'll have to leave completely and come back in. Okay.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
We'll get there, Nate. We'll get there.
But
yeah, I've seen businesses advertising on Instagram and stuff. Schedule your holiday parties. Do all of this, but essentially, Oktoberfest here in the States is like the first part of July through the whole month of October. We don't care what Germany's doing, and especially once we get into September, and we're definitely going to roll through the whole month of October. No doubt. I think I've even seen some places in years past do stuff in November and make a comment, that they weren't able to get. Hey, we didn't get a chance to get to it during Oktoberfest. So I was like, all right.
I mean, to be honest, I think Oktoberfest, like the beer doesn't go bad as soon as it's November 1st.
Right. Keep on celebrating the holiday. I don't mind so much. What do we decide to call that? Seasonal lag, like when it goes on a little longer, as opposed to the creep. I get more bothered by creep than I do lag. If Oktoberfest stretches out a little bit longer, that's fine. But I don't want to get it started too soon. I mean, it was 100 degrees here when we started getting Oktoberfest beers.
Seeing Oktoberfest beers in July really threw me through a loop, and it tracks a little bit more now that we're getting into the middle of August. But yeah, that creep is just awful.
It's something, man. Every holiday. And I'm hypocritical because I don't mind so much with the holiday beers, like the Christmas beers, if they creep in a little bit. I still want the weather to be cool before they start getting out there. So I think that's a little more seasonally appropriate, a little more seasonally acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the Oktoberfest beers definitely segue better into those holiday beers because some of those are a little spiced or a little bit more malty.
Sure. Yeah.
But don't hand me a pumpkin beer. Like that's awful
Pumpkin
every time I'm
quad,
here.
man. Have a pumpkin. Have you consumed any Oktoberfest beers this year
No,
yet? No.
no.
Okay.
So I did tell Brian that I might have one on my main road trip that's coming up end of this month. So I may break it by a week,
A little
but
bit.
I feel
Okay.
like it's appropriate if I'm going to be sitting in Acadia National Park to have an Oktoberfest beer.
Yeah, if you're going up there, man, you get to bend the rules a little bit. That's kind of like being in an airport. Airport rules,
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. It's time for a cocktail.
Time doesn't matter inside an
I'm
airport.
I'm on vacation doing this. You do get a pass on some of those things.
Yeah, because we'll be staying actually 2 weeks from today. We'll be staying in Littleton, New Hampshire, which is
Okay.
where Schilling Beer Company is located.
All right. All right.
And if Schilling has an Oktoberfest on tap at their location, I will definitely
It's
be
going to
getting
happen,
myself one.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you set out your brewery list yet? Do you have all of them planned or play it
So
by
I've
ear a
got
little bit?
I think I've got the notables, like the ones that I've got planned are already set.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be, of course, when I get up to Maine or like Bar Harbor, Portland, if I see one that I want to check out, I'm going to go check it out. But the big notables for me so far is like Vale, Sapwood Cellars up in Maryland. We're going to go through Boston, so I want to do Sam Adams and Treehouse because we get Trillium down here. Um, Portland, Maine is going to be Allagash, Mass Landing, Maine Beer Co.
Yeah.
So far, New Hampshire, we're just dissecting it through Littleton. So far, it's just going to be Schilling. Vermont, it's going to be The Alchemist and Von Trapp, and then we're going to hit up Whistlepig Distilling.
Okay. All
I
right.
forgot that was in Vermont.
Yeah.
And then
I had
coming
no
back
idea.
down, we're going to do Yingling in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Megang in New York, and then from there we're going to West Virginia, and I don't know any breweries in West Virginia.
So, gosh, I can't even remember the name of it right now, Nate. You'll probably remember when I get to talking about up there in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. There's a brewery there, and kind of ironically or coincidentally, my family's from that area. My mother's side of the family's from that area. And I got connected up with that brewery. I forget, I saw them in the news or something, or they reached out to me about something, not the brewery, but something else. I don't remember exactly what the connection was, but to make a long story short, one of the co-owners of the brewery is a relative. And I don't know exactly how we're related there, but it did turn out that there is some connection. Welcome back, Brian.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be back. It looks like it might be working. I don't know.
It's working. The video quality is like 240p, but I guess when you're on a dial-up connection, you really have to do the best you can.
It's so weird. I'm Google Fiber over here with maximum, like all the gigawatts and all that crap. So I don't even understand why there would be this issue. The camera software likes to actively fight with this system for some reason. I don't understand why.
What speed do they have for internet access these days? Because when I got mine, it was 1 gig, and that was like the absolute fastest you could get.
I think it's 2. I think it's 2.
Is it up to 2 now?
Yeah, and I think it's fast enough that not all the. I'm not entirely. I think I've got a new router that does actually handle it. But when I first got it, my router couldn't even handle all the speed. It was just I was throttled by my own router for a while. But I'm upgraded, so I should be on the very fastest there is.
Blazing fast. Yeah, Tyler. Brian's still using AOL, so when he gets on, we have to wait until it goes, "You've got mail," and then we can we can get things going here.
You've got beer podcast.
Wait for all the noise to stop. Well, y'all, we are going to get rocking and rolling. Hope that technology agrees with us going forward here, but we would love to hear what you're drinking, what you're thinking, any comments on the topics we discuss here. And with that said, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Thank you so much for coming here and hanging out with this week to talk craft beer, drink craft beer, and just see this thing defaults to loop, and I don't know why. It resets itself every week to loop the sounds. So y'all, for like the 47th time, what are we, 10 minutes into the show now and we haven't done anything? All right,
the intro's so good we had to do it 5 times.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Thanks for joining us, hanging out, having some beers and conversations. We are having every technical difficulty you can have this week. The technology has really been coming at us, but we persevered. We're tenacious. We're tenacious at this. And so here we are. I am Tim Dennis. Brian Hewitt, how are you doing, sir?
Frustrated with technology just in general at this point in time, but I'm good. I'm having a beer, and this is the bright spot of the week right now. Everything's happening and working, I think.
The lining is silver. Yeah, for anybody who hasn't worked with technology stuff in general, I think these days most everybody has. Like when we had our studio, we had everything set up there. It didn't get messed with in any other way. And we would use it and we would come back the next week and things wouldn't work. And, it's like everything is set exactly the same as it was. And you know what? Sometimes technology does that. It just decides it's not going to work. And I've been told the thing is if you have an issue that requires tech support and there's more than one company involved in it, an example with our website, we have a web host and then we have our domain manager. And of course it's the other guy's fault. That's all there is to it. It is the other guy's fault. But Nate, how you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Happy to be here. Happy to have the tech issues be absolved for the time being.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to make it through. We'll do our absolute best. Well, guys, let's get into the beers of the week. Brian, what you drinking?
Yeah. So I pre-gamed with a very deep red beer from Highwire called Paradise Punch Sour. I think I got to say, from drinking it, I'm like, this is familiar. And I'm looking at the color. I'm like, I think this is meant to be Hawaiian Punch, but they don't say anything in Untapped or on the can about exactly what's in it or what it's about, other than, making reference to the deep red color. It's good. It was good. It's reminiscent. It's not a perfect representation of Hawaiian Punch, but it's similar. It's got similarities. So that was nice. I am currently drinking the Grand Triple from Omegang, which is a Belgian triple with coffee and Madagascar vanilla beans. Oh, Madagascar vanilla bean caviar.
Whoa.
Whatever the heck that is, but it's super fancy.
All right.
And I've got my monocle around here somewhere. I'm going to put that on in just a minute. And then later... And then later on, if everything continues to go well with technology, I'll be getting into Trillium's Metal, which is a New England double IPA with an intense dual dry hop treatment of Amarillo and Citra, and that will be the Patreon after party. That's the beer for that. So that is what I am up to. What are you drinking, Tim?
I'm drinking water, Brian, as we've covered in previous weeks. Unfortunately, my lovely beer has started disagreeing with me. So until I can figure out exactly what that issue is, I'll be drinking H2O. Maybe I sneak a beer in every now and then. We got together at Nate's not long ago, and I had 4 or 5 like pours of beers. I didn't get crazy. Made it through that, but yeah, it's unknown. Anyhow, won't whine about my issues anymore. We'll move right along, and Nate, find out what you are drinking, sir.
Yeah, so I'm right now from Monday Night Brewing is a collaboration Pilsner with Halfway Crooks, a brewery that we talk about constantly on the show, and it's their North German Pilsner, which is a German style Pilsner from them. And then on deck, I was cruising my local beer shop today, getting beers for the show, and I saw Parrish did a collaboration with Other Half, and they did a double dry hopped Ghost Daydream, which takes the oat cream Citra hopped IPA from Other Half, combined with the double dry hopped Ghost in the Machine from Parrish to create an oat cream double dry hopped with Citra double New England IPA. Very excited about this one.
Wow. Did they fit that all on the label?
Yeah, it was a scroll. You just kind of like held the
That's
can and it
right.
just pulled out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got
like
a
the medic
little LED screen on there scrolling around what it is there, huh?
beer cans need what they put on all of the like the aspirin bottles these days, where you peel up part of the label and it unwraps, and there's like
There you go.
like
Oh,
a huge
gosh,
ribbon of
yes.
information. It's actually an entire novel that's there, and somehow they wrap it around the can. That's what they need to do with beer cans. It needs to, you peel off part of it, and then there's this whole like multimedia experience inside that, probably QR codes and everything else under the sun. Maybe some
Yeah.
braille in there as well. You know, like all
You
of the
know,
stuff we've been hearing about cans doing these days, they can put all inside that.
I saw something recently where they've got advertising postcards that have a tiny LED screen in them, or maybe it's LCD. I'm not sure. It was color. I know that much. And I guess they're like $1 a piece or something like that. It's crazy inexpensive considering what it is. And there's Brian, we talk about our love for fragrances every now and, but there's a brand called Moncler that they're a high fashion designer fashion brand. And one of their fragrances, they do have an LED screen on the front that
Wow.
scrolls Moncler across there. So
No
maybe they
kidding.
can do some fancy beers that have have these screens on them and full advertisements on there. I know we'll get there with some packaging where it's like that.
We'll have to subscribe to the beer label itself. You don't see the
That's
beer
right.
label unless you pay a
Yeah.
subscription fee.
That's it.
Yeah.
Monthly. Even after you finish drinking it, you got to
That's
keep
right.
paying that subscription. No
That's right.
cancellations.
Exactly.
Man, beer labels are getting expensive, much less the actual beer.
Indeed.
Well, Brian, on to headlines. We've got the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame, which we've talked about in the past. They had their inaugural class of inductees not long ago, but now they've announced their initial class of landmark craft beers, not just people, but the beers that they're taking into the hall.
Yeah, the beers themselves. This is part of a new annual initiative to honor individual beers that have left a lasting mark on American brewing and drinking culture. They're not just looking at popular beers with this, they're recognizing beers that have shaped brewing practices, pushed boundaries, or paved the way for entire styles or movements in beer. The inaugural class of landmark beers includes 5 foundational brews, and they are Sierra Nevada, because this beer brought Cascade hops to national prominence and helped define the American pale ale style. Samuel Adams Boston Lager, because it's an icon that helped bring full-flavored beer to mainstream audiences in the 1980s. And it also put American craft beer on the global map. And I think, Tim, you have a story about people coming in from Europe wanting to drink Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Sam Adams, so Sam Adams Boston Lager was my introduction to craft beer years and years ago. I lived in Arkansas when I was in my early 20s, and we really didn't have craft beer, so to speak. You know, at that time, the fancy beers were things like Moosehead and Heineken. We thought that was high class beer. And the company I worked for, we did a workshop, oddly enough, in Jackson, Mississippi. And at the end of our workshop, it was like a 3-day workshop, we did a celebratory dinner. And they always did, when they did these workshops, they would go to one of the nicer restaurants in town and have a celebratory dinner with everybody. And we went to the steakhouse in Jackson, and a bunch of our co-workers from the UK, from Italy, from Sweden were all over here for it. And we sat down and we're going through, and Brian, I ordered my typical Bud Light, as I did back then. And these guys, they kind of signed like, oh man, at least they've got Sam Adams here. And so I asked them, why was that important? And they explained a little bit about, the brewing and American beer, it's watered down. It doesn't, but Sam Adams Boston Lager. So I'm like, well, I've got to try this then, I've got to see what this is about. So that was my first experience, Brian. That would have been probably 93, around 1993 there. So 30 plus years ago, that was my first introduction to craft beer with good old Sam Adams.
They already had an international representation or reputation.
They did.
Excuse me. Yeah. So that's cool that they're like, oh, at least they have that. But the other 3, let's continue on. Anchor Steam Beer, which won't surprise anybody. It's a resurrection of a truly American beer style, the steam beer or the California Common, and to help define the image and concept of craft beer for decades to come. Celis White, which was a revival of a nearly extinct Belgian style, the wit beer, that brought traditional wheat beer to American craft drinkers. And now wheat beer is really easy to find. At one point in time, that was basically an extinct style. and Anchor Liberty Ale, another one from Anchor, an early pioneer in the creation of the modern concept of the American IPA, and an early standard bearer for what would become the country's arguably the most important style of beer for the U.S. And as I mentioned before, this is an annual initiative, so there will be more inductees next year, and nominations are open to the public and evaluated by a panel of beer historians, brewers, writers, and industry veterans. And now that you know what the inaugural 5 are, what do you guys think of the list? Are there any missing? Because it seems like there probably are a few that could be included here.
Well, we talked about this when they inducted the people, when they inducted their first class there, and choosing the inaugural class on something like this, it can't be easy. There's no way, because there's a lot that probably deserve a spot. Like I immediately thought of like Pliny the Elder, for what they did. That's one that I could see, being pretty. That's the only one I can think of that is iconic like that. I mean,
Heady
lots of
Topper,
beers.
Pliny the Elder.
Well, see, Heady Topper I thought of, but I do know it's younger, so to speak. I know Heady Topper's been around a while now, but I think we're talking like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Sam Adams, and I think Pliny kind of falls in that. Maybe the next generation. So I wouldn't doubt when we have another class, but yes, I could see Heady Topper. I could see Pliny the Elder getting in there. Allagash White would be one that I think could deserve a spot there. So quite a
Pete's Wicked would probably wind up being in there at some point in time. But again, these are mostly like stuff at 80s, 70s, that kind of thing. And I think Pete's was 90s. I thought that an argument could be made for Yingling.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It may not be one that is in the category, and I say that meaning style wise to these other beers, but you can't argue the popularity of that beer and how, I mean, speaking of that, something from New Glarus, Spotted Cow would probably deserve a spot in there, at least sometime in the future.
At some point in the future, yeah. But
so next year's class, we've decided, because we can just send them our list and save them some time. And we can get Pliny, Heady Topper, Allagash White, Spotted Cow.
We should throw Yingling in there. I think it should. And Yingling belongs there. Yeah.
I mean, I think we've got this taken care of for him.
420 may wind up in there at some point in time. I'm not sure if it's like as revolutionary as what they're looking for, but I think Yingling has been influential. Fat Tire eventually will be in there.
Fat Tire, good point.
That took over and changed people were trying to come up with fat tires, and that conquered the country at a certain point in time. So,
but the amber But the amber recipe of Fat Tire or the blonde recipe of Fat Tire?
Oh, no, the original.
I know the answer.
Black Butte Porter, of course, needs to be there. That's one of the most iconic porters of all time, and possibly the only one I can pretty much count on finding in a store these days. But
See, there's a lot of beers that I think were important to their, like Tyler just said, Ballast Point. Ballast Point IPA would be one that definitely
Sculpin. Yeah, everybody was trying to copy Sculpin at a certain point. Yeah,
at one time,
especially that grapefruit Sculpin.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on Goose Island's Bourbon County Stout? Just the black label, just the
Bourbon County, definitely. Year. That's going to come in there. It was a craft originally. It was, so I think it deserves a spot there. It's no longer, but it's still hugely influential. We report on it releasing every year. People still make beers based on that. So yeah, I think so.
I'd also be interested. I actually don't know this, and I'm surprised that I don't. I'll have to look around. But if we were to look at American sours, who was the first one to really do American
Cascade
sours?
would be an early Cascade
one.
Would be a very early
Jester
one.
King, maybe Jolly Pumpkin, Jester King. I think they got in on the early side of things there.
Yeah.
So. But I'd like to. Maybe New Glarus. I don't know exactly how soon they got into it, but they did, some of the heavily fruited sours.
They had a few. Yeah, they had a few interesting ones. Yeah, who came up with the pastry sour or whatever? The fruited what is it? The Florida sour or Florida
Weiss?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. And for a while it was king. And in some places, I think it still is king. I think that people are still into that.
Right.
So that's
I
a
think
whole thing.
there are several beers that I think you could argue for them to be worthy there. And it's tough to put everybody in. If we look in Georgia, 420, that's Atlanta. If you think of a beer, that's Atlanta. For us personally here in Georgia, Creature Comforts Tropicalia was a very game-changing beer. It was kind of a demarcation point in the change of our craft beer industry here in Georgia. So, maybe not on a national level quite as important, but definitely important to Georgia beer.
What I want to know is which Brute IPA is going to make the list.
All of them, all 5 of them,
every single one of them that was ever made. I want to say there was like 5,000 of them made for about 2 weeks, and then nobody made them again.
Don't even know. Maybe when they get a brick and mortar Hall of Fame there, they'll have the Hall of Shame. You'll have Brute IPAs in there. Probably by that time, hopefully pumpkin beers. Be like, there was like a good 20-year stretch when we actually drank these.
There is probably going to be, I'm sure there'll be maybe there'll be an. So they say that things are landmarks like Post Road or whatever, the Pumpkin Shipyard or whatever, Pumpkinhead. Some of those are like really early, like they started a movement of pumpkin beers.
Elysian was one that was very big, and they had several actually.
So I wouldn't be surprised if some of those get added, but I also think they say it's like not looking at popularity and just to start a movement. But I'm like, if people really hate pumpkin beers, I'm thinking that they might keep them out just out of spite at this point in time, despite the fact that some of these pumpkin beers really did inspire other people to make them, for better or for worse. They did start a movement of a kind. We may not like the movement now, but it was a movement.
They're not as popular as they were, but there's still people that really look forward to their pumpkin beers to come out. So. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how this grows and develops there, man. It's definitely fun to see who they're putting in here and to see who may come up in the future.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Well, Brian, the Big Bear Fest, the biggest beer fest in the U.S. is coming up soon. The Great American Beer Festival, GABF, tickets are on sale now, and they got some new things going down for 2025.
Yes. So on sale now, and the festival will be held in Denver from October 9th to the 11th. That's a Thursday through a Saturday. Like previous years, there will be new features, like Tim says. They've been adding new stuff for the last couple of years, I think. For 2025, they will have the distilling experience, which is new. It's going to be a special area with 20 distilleries offering unlimited a quarter ounce samples of spirits like whiskey, vodka, and gin. And they have a full list of all the people that will be supplying these on the website, so you can check that out. I've heard of a couple of them, but I'd go there and try all of them. They will also have the Mile High Stage, which is a new entertainment venue with live bands, costume contests, and a Stein holding competition. So this is happening in October, so I guess that checks out. I was thinking about Stein holding now. I'm like, no, not now, too early, but this is October, people.
Not then, right.
Yeah. Some of the popular events from previous festivals will also be returning. There's a event called Paired, and that will be a special 2-night event that pairs chefs and independent brewers for unique food and beer pairings. They say it will be a quieter, less crowded event. Sign me up for that one. I've been to some great beer and food pairings. I really like that when it's done right. There will also be themed experience areas where breweries will be grouped into sections like Prost for German beer garden, Score with a sports theme, and Fright with a Halloween theme. And a variety of other entertainment like silent disco, karaoke, marching bands, and stuff that's called pop-up engagement. So just kind of random things that will just show up in the event. So the festival will continue to offer a variety of beverages beyond beer, including cider, hard kombucha, hard seltzers, and zero-proof beverage options. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the new stuff? Does that make it more appealing for you to attend? Were you like in the area and going to attend anyway? Or does it make it less appealing for you?
You know what? Neither for me personally, Brian. Like I know GBF for what it is. It's just a good old celebration of American craft beer. So, some of these events sound fun. Like I got to admit, Prost, the German beer garden experience.
Yeah,
that appeals to me. Even the Fright one. So I'm like, okay, that could be cool. Halloween theme themed area there, but I think it's cool that they're trying to make it more inclusive of more things. And let's be honest, man, when I went back, oh man, it's been almost 10 years ago now that I'm thinking about it. I think 2016 or 2017 was the one and only time I went, but that was the height of craft beer. So all you had to say is we've got beer, and there were, tens of thousands of people there. That's all it took, and that was back when the beer bar there that closed. I can't believe the name is escaping me right now. But,
Falling Rock, is that the
Falling
one?
Rock, yeah. Falling Rock Tap House was there. I went to man, memories escaping me here, but breweries, a lot of the breweries that we visited then, are closed now, and it's a different time. So the fact that they're looking at it, they're admitting it's a different time and not just flogging the dead horse and saying, hey, how can we make this more appealing to people? I think it's great, and I hope it works really well for them.
Yeah, I think so too. And I saw an article that we're not really talking about, but how somebody that's not really in beer had mentioned, like, beer has changed. It's more inclusive. It's more friendly. People talk bad about it. And he said, I've gone to these breweries. I'm like, there are families everywhere. There's all kinds of people drinking. There are all kinds of people having fun. Like the uptight hipster with the beard looking like me, looking surly and being, really judgmental about people drinking. Those days are over. People don't realize it. And I think this is a good representation of that. I would go.
Is that a sign of a Sorry, Brian, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say I would go and check out the distilling experience, and I would definitely go to the Prost area and do steins and things like that. No, I think it'd be fine. The paired thing, I like the food and beer pairings. Love those. I think they're great if they're done well, and they'll be done well. So this is GABF. I think it's a good thing. It's just get more people on board, get more people there, get more people enjoying beer or having fun around beer. So they think of, hey, I want to go have fun. Let me just go to the brewery and have fun there. Like whether or not you have a beer or you have whatever other optional drinks that they have and food items, like that's fine. Like that helps the beer, that helps the breweries out. So it helps beer in general. So I think I'm good with it. What were you asking, Tim?
So no, I was just going to say there, you talked about how you go to a brewery now and there's families there, there's kids, everybody's, it's sitting around. It's not the judgmental hipster anymore that's in the brewery. Now, is that so where we are? It made me think of like English pub culture. Everybody goes to the pub, whether you go down there to have a pint or whether you go to get your bangers and mash or both or whatever, it's not uncommon for, people to be at the pub. So do you think that's a sign of a dying beer scene or a maturing beer scene?
Yeah, I think it's a maturing beer scene. I don't think it's opened up to more people. So it's kind of evolving into something that's just beyond the super niche, like the super fringe part of it. Cause that part of it, the crazy manic energy of beer early on. And let's face it, chasing trucks is crazy manic energy, not sustainable. Like that's never gonna last. So we've grown up a bit. And so it's still around. People still go to these things. So yeah, it's maturing like the audience has matured, basically. Like we're no longer going to do the kind of stuff that we used to do. We're not that dumb anymore. We're dumb in different ways, but
right.
We still like our
new
beer.
ways to be dumb.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Nate, what do you think about all this?
So I've never been to GABF, and to me, it's the Great American Beer Fest. I understand the shtick of like including these distilleries to sort of broaden their scope of what they offer. But if I were to go to GABF, I think I would still just go for the beer. I like
Fair
the
enough.
themed,
Yeah.
I like the themed beer garden areas. I think the Prost and the Fright and the Score area is great to sort of coalesce people with like interests, and you can maybe meet some new people in the industry. But I'm still interested just to go just for the experience of trying GBF for the first time.
You should have made that your trip, Nate. That's instead of the old Northeast there, should have done the Denver run.
I can still make it happen at some point.
Yeah, definitely one that I mean, it's great. It does sound like it's changed a lot, from when I went, and I think attendance is down, but no doubt it's still going to be a great event. I mean, when we went out there, we talked to some amazing people, and there's just no shortage of beer. And I don't know if the offsite events are as prolific as they were when we went, but you could honestly go to Denver during GABF. You could. past tense. I can't speak to recent events, but you wouldn't even need to go to the actual festival to have the absolute best beer week of your life, So it's a good time. And Denver's a cool town. And you can go out there and get some Native American tacos too. I can't even remember the name of my Native American taco joint, Brian.
Arepes or whatever that's
it's something different. They're fry bread tacos.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that with the special like green sauce or something like that, or special green chili that they have to use. Yeah,
green chili tokabe. That was it. Tokabe
there
was the name of the joint. So, yeah, good stuff, man. Well, I hope it serves them well, man. Kombucha, seltzer, zero proof, all that. So, Nate, like you said, if you go out there and you're like, man, I'm going because I like beer. It's the Great American Beer Festival. I'm here for beer. You're going to be plenty happy, but then maybe some other people could go that, maybe weren't all into the beer. You can go find Brian at the liquor tent.
There you go.
With him slamming his quarter-ounce samples.
I would probably be irresponsible and start by hitting the most interesting beers first and then go there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's only a quarter ounce at a time. It's not a big deal. After I've hit all of them, all 20 of them at least once, maybe twice.
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to, man. You absolutely have to. Well, Brian, how about we give a shout out to our good friends at Truck and Tap?
Sounds like a good idea. This weekend is a great time to stop by your local Truck and Tap, especially if your local Truck and Tap is the Woodstock location. And if you're listening to this on Saturday when the show drops, they're celebrating their 10th anniversary with a music festival featuring headliners Emo Nation, a 2000s pop punk tribute band that's going to perform all the hits with high energy, epic guitar solos, and heavy breakdowns. And there will be some other bands too. The music starts at 2 p.m. and goes until 10 p.m. So basically all day. There will also be cocktail specials as well as plenty of good cold beer and food trucks. So speaking of beer, let's talk about my beer picks for the week. At Truck and Tap Woodstock, I'm going with Creature Comfort's Previous Romance, which is a farmhouse saison. Also an ode to the classic Wallonian farmhand beverage. So they're going very historic with this one. It's made with aged hops and, of course, fermented with saison yeast, as it should be. I've had this one before. Out of a can. I don't know if I've ever had on tap, and it's a great saison. So you don't really need a reason. If it's a saison, just get one and try it out. At the Duluth location, I'm getting Boulevard's Love Child number 12. I remember back in the day when the latest Love Child releases flew off the shelves and often made appearances at bottle shares. In case you're not familiar with it, Love Child is a barrel-aged blend of sour and clean ales. 55% of it's sour from various puncheons, 30% is a barrel-aged pale ale, and 15% is a barrel-aged barley wine. That is one heck of a blend, and I don't know who can pass that up knowing that. I definitely can't, so I would absolutely get that. I haven't seen that on tap in like a really long time. I didn't even know that they did that. Honestly, I thought it was all bottles.
But I used to love seeing the bottles, man. Grab those when they came out.
Oh, yeah. At Truck and Tap Alpharetta, my pick is New Realm's Euphonia on the side pull tap. It's a crisp German lager with a bright floral hop aroma, and it's also a beer that I tried to get when I was out and about last weekend, and the keg had just kicked at the place that I was at. So, and it wasn't Truck and Tap, and it wasn't on the side pull either way. So I'm making up for that now. Get the Euphonia on the side pull tap there. And finally, at the Lawrenceville location, I'm going with Creature Comfort's Warmer Disco IPA. It's a double dry hop West Coast IPA that's said to be bold, herbal, and citrusy, featuring Mosaic and Columbus hops. It sounds like a beer that has come to party, and this is the right weekend for partying. And there you have my beer picks for the week. As always, if you'd like to see the full tap list before stopping by, take a look at truckandtap.com. The taps change quickly. They're always changing, and you never know what you're going to find. And if you'd like to see what food trucks are serving and what events are happening, like the 10th anniversary music festival is happening, you can also find that at truckandtap.com. Everything you need to know can be found at truckandtap.com. So check that out. And thank you to Truck and Tap for your support.
Thanks, Truck and Tap. We appreciate you. And happy 10th, Truck and Tap.
Yes.
It's quite a milestone there. Absolutely. Well, Brian, we talked about Fat Tire earlier, about how we thought that maybe they could deserve a place there in the Craft Beer Hall of Fame. But to make them even more likable, they're running the contest right now to get you a little time off.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's a pretty cool contest. It's called Take the Year Off, and I don't even know if I have to say anything else. You're probably already ready to sign
There we
up for
go.
this
Moving
thing,
on,
aren't you?
then
Yeah,
we
we'll just move right along. Now, the contest offers one grand prize of $100,000 to help a winner pursue their passion project for a year. 10 other winners will receive a year's supply of Fat Tire beer. I'd take that, actually. To enter, participants must submit an entry explaining how they would flip the script with a year off and $100,000. You have until September 30th of this year to enter. Winners will be announced on the 31st. I believe it's Halloween, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, the contest was inspired by Fat Tire's founders who left their routines to follow their passion for craft beer, but it's also inspired by a recent UCLA report stating that nearly 60% of Gen Z feel as though the American dream is completely out of reach to them due to economic barriers. $100,000 will tear down a lot of economic barriers. So, yeah. So hypothetically, if you guys entered this, and maybe you will, I don't know, what would you do with $100,000 for a year if you were to take that time off?
I'm going to say this, and I mean no disrespect to their contest. $100,000 doesn't go as far as it used to go.
True.
And so talking about pursuing your dreams and all this, maybe they should have went 250 as the amount.
Oh, okay, 250
to do this. So, because that's like, I mean, seriously, in most major cities, that's living decent money there. That's not pursuing your dreams money. So, and again, I mean, no disrespect to $100,000 prize. That'd be great. But yeah, I don't know about pursuing your dreams on a.
Tim's over here looking a gift tire in the mouth.
I am looking at a gift tire in the mouth. I bet they got to pay taxes out of that. And stuff, so.
Dude, yes, you have to pay taxes,
and it's going to be a chunk
grand
too.
Yeah, it's
what are you gonna net out of this? Like $80?
Yeah, probably. I was thinking I was thinking that if I did it, I don't think I could quit my job with the taxes coming out of it and everything else.
No.
Right. I've got a mortgage to pay, and it's not a cheap mortgage.
Sure.
I would actually use this to go fly places on weekends and go like check out I don't know, take some time off a little bit during the year, check out all these fun places that we talk about, spend some more times in Belgium and whatever, like doing things, checking out all the scenes, actually covering the airfare, covering a nice place to stay, eat some nice food, have some interesting things to talk about, maybe even write about it a little bit too. I don't know, that like depends on how things worked out. I would do that. I would supplement what I'm currently doing with some pretty, elaborate weekend getaways for that kind of thing. Just live it up a bit, but I don't think that's going to win. I think they want people who are like on a backpacking budget to go off and like, I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm going to go be a monk in Thailand for $100,000 for a year,
I feel like I should cut out everything I said about the $100,000, not to get grief over it. So I do want to clarify that's a nice chunk of change to win. It's just in this economy, chasing dreams for that amount. But it looks like they're saying, hey, take a year off, do your passion project or whatever. So
yeah, Tim's all like $100,000 in this economy.
In this economy, what are we talking about here? That's like 4 dozen eggs, isn't it?
Right, 5, but close.
Yeah. So okay. So like you said, Brian, you couldn't quit, but you could do some things. Definitely. I agree with you. Weekend travel would be nice. You know what? You could take maybe the vacation time that you don't take right now because you're like, well, I got this to do or that to do.
Yeah.
Take some of that off, go enjoy it. I've got so much vacation time stacked up. I could take me 2 weeks and head to Europe or a month or whatever. I could definitely do that. So
that's expensive to do right now, and that would help you cover it. So, and you could even some places there, depending on your work arrangement, they don't like it, but sabbatical type of things where you take like extended period of time off without pay, even though you're not fired, but they're not paying you, and it's kind of a weird quasi thing. Some places might do that, so that might be a way.
My thing was the take a year off part.
Yeah,
it's like then you got to find a job again. Man, I'm just a Debbie Downer on this. Sorry, Fat Tire. It's a very generous contest you're doing, and someone will have an absolutely lovely time if they win it.
I'm going to say this is probably targeted more towards Gen Z. They don't care about old Gen
they
Xers
mentioned
like
Gen
us.
Z. They're not
We've
looking
got
at
all these
Gen X.
obligations and stuff. Like, we're not the target audience.
They're like, we're not trying to pay your retirement, you old fart. So this is for the youngins. They'll do just fine on 100K.
On that.
Yeah. That's not going to make big dent in my 401k. Okay. All right. Enough being salty, Brian. Old man Dennis being salty about a free $100,000.
Old man yells at clouds.
Old man yells at cloud. Well, Brian, moving on to another story. Again, another brewer we talked about earlier with Boston Beer and, the Sam Adams, Boston Lager there, but something we haven't heard much about in a long time. They still exist, and is seltzers, Brian. So we found out that Boston Beer Company, who they do own Truly Seltzer, they're closing a couple of their Truly tap rooms, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. One of them is a Truly tap room. So they're closing 2 tap room locations in Los Angeles. One is a Truly LA tap room, and the other one is Angel City Brewery, which I didn't know, and I've never even heard of before, or if I did, I wasn't paying attention. So the Truly LA tap room, it was a fully immersive, it's still open actually, so it still is a fully immersive seltzer tap room, but they are starting gradually winding down operations. They're shifting to just Friday and Saturday service by the end of this year, and it's going to close at some point after that. And the decision to close it is attributed to declining performance, because seltzer isn't as hot as it used to be, and also rising operational costs. So we are talking about LA here. The Angel City Brewery tap room will continue to operate through the end of its lease, which it comes up due in April 2026. Boston Beer is actively seeking a buyer for the Angel City brand. This is an entire different brand of beer. They say it no longer aligns with the company's long-term strategy of focusing on core national brands. So not a core national brand, just a local beer brand. This news follows the company's previous closure of Concrete Bench and Coney Island tap rooms, which they also had. The announcement also comes amid recent leadership changes we talked about previously, including founder Jim Koch taking back over as CEO, and it's tied to their broader business struggles. Specifically, Truly Hard Seltzer is not doing well. The sales are down considerably. I believe they're high single digits, but possibly into the lower 2 digits. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but the company stated it plans to absorb as many of the Truly LA employees as possible into the Angel City team to minimize the immediate job impact. After these closures, Boston Beer's remaining locations will include the Samuel Adams Breweries, Angry Orchard Cider House, and 4 Dogfish Head locations. So they've closed a lot of these ancillary kind of other sub-brand type of places that they had open. Honestly, I had no idea some of these were theirs, or even like with the Angel City Brewery, never heard of it
before. Yeah, had no idea at all. So interesting. Yeah, this when I saw this news article, it made me think you just don't hear about seltzer anymore. No one, no one's, what is it? There are no laws when you're crushing claws or something
drinking
like
claws.
that. All the stuff, all the hype was out there. But I remember when seltzer got hot, that someone was talking about the growth and the long term and this and that. And I'm like, this is going to be another fad. And they said, there were some market indicators that pointed to this being more long-term than just a fad. But Brian, we've seen the malt beverages like Smirnoff Ice go around. We've seen the Zima days. We've seen wine coolers go around, Four Locos when they were, doing their thing and all of this. So it just looked like another fad. Now, not that, there's still wine coolers out there, but when was the last time you heard anybody mention a wine cooler?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Literally. Other than me, like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, like just hardly at all. I have heard like people talking like at work. I've heard references to people drinking the occasional, specifically White Claw. And I do remember very recently seeing somebody who was, looked a little bit like me, walking out with a case of White Claw. I'm like, oh, people are still buying that. So I'm like, I know it's taking up space that should be dedicated to IPAs that are getting hot on the shelf. But there are some people on the quiet that are still drinking it, but I don't think it's got the excitement
not like it
behind
was,
it at all.
man.
No, not
like
even
it
close.
Was. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it'll stick around. Like I said, I think I think if you go to a certain dark and dusty corner of your grocery store, you can still find like some Bartles and James wine coolers stuck back there in the corner. So, I mean, they're still around. They're still around.
I would drink those before I drank hard seltzer. I'll be honest with you. And out of this at this point in time, I'd almost like to drink them again just to remember how they taste, because I have like a vague recollection of what they tasted like, and they're.
Well, when I was a youngin', that was the drink of choice for most of the young ladies. You know, when of course there was a Zima phase. You drop a Jolly Rancher in a Zima, and then when wine coolers came around, you know, that was it. And you know, a bottle of Boone's Farm, little Strawberry Hill,
Boone's
or something
Farm,
like that.
The big bottles of red and like orange that look like strawberries or orange juice or whatever. I remember seeing those around. Those are very popular. Yeah.
Strawberry Hill was one of the Boone's Farms that was super, super popular there. So interesting stuff, though. Interesting stuff. Well, Brian, beer video games. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the idea of anything that gets people thinking about beer and, you know, working with beer. I like the idea of a beer simulator, any kind of a beer themed video game. I think would be a lot of fun, just because, you know, my proximity to the industry. What do you think about it, Tim?
Well, Brian, I am open to the concept. If the game's fun, you know, just if it's about beer, then whatever. But amazingly enough, there's a sequel coming out to a game that I'd never even heard of called Dude, Where's My Beer? But there's a demo of a sequel out right now on Steam. And for those that aren't gamers, Steam is a platform that hosts tons and tons of video games, like an online. It's like Netflix for video games.
It kind of is. Yeah.
So, but that's what it is. But Brian, I know you looked in a little bit about this video game. So what do we got here?
Yeah. So I was messing around there a little bit, but yes, the sequel is called Dude, Where's My Beer? A New Hop. Not A New Hope, but A New Hop. So a sequel to the 2020 point and click adventure game, which I'm pretty sure we actually talked about on the show a few years back.
I know we talked about the one where you ran like a brew pub. Like you
as a monk.
But I didn't remember this. Okay. Yeah.
I want to play that one too, but I'd forgotten about that. I think I also downloaded this one, but I never got around to playing it. But,
gotcha.
So anyway, the game is a satirical adventure set in a dystopian beer future where pilsners are outlawed. So the craft beer scene is dominated by pretentious, in quotes, this is their word, I think, not mine, beers like IPAs, pretentious beers. So pretentious IPAs. Players take on the role of the hero who is on a quest to restore pilsners to glory. You'll do this by entering an underground brewing contest, and you'll join the Pilsner Front Resistance. The gameplay features classic 90s style point and click mechanics, hand-drawn comic art, which I actually really like the art for these, and a new beerometer to track the player intoxication, which is intriguing to me. I want to see that in action. Yeah, the game's full release is yet to be announced, but the original game, Dude, Where's My Beer, is currently 50% off on Steam to celebrate the sequel's announcement, and you can get the free demo that's out on Steam right now. So go check that out. Go download it, and if you play it, let us know what you think about it, because I haven't gotten around to it. Maybe I'll try to remember to do it, because I actually kind of want to. I kind of
check it out. You got to check it out so you can report back, Brian.
Just for the art. The art's actually pretty good, and it's the guy's a little cantankerous. So yeah, I think the first one was all about the guy just looking for a good pilsner, and he's like surrounded by hipster beers and all that. So I like the premise. It's fun.
Gotcha. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, Brian, we are not the only state in the world that has to, or in the U.S. or the world, probably, that has to do with stupid beer laws. And right now, stupid beer laws are actually crippling the great taste of the Midwest.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really tough to hold a beer festival these days. And to keep your attendance numbers up, you have to be creative, like they have been for the Great American Beer Festival. And stupid beer laws, man, like you're saying, like you don't need this right now. This is tough. It's especially ones that put punitive fees on participating breweries. And that's exactly what happened to the Great Taste of the Midwest Festival this year. A new state law requires out-of-state breweries to pay $1,000 permit fee to serve beer in Wisconsin. And I read other sources that say it's actually closer to $1,300 the fee. So I don't know 100% what it is. It's still ridiculous. And you have to pay that fee even if you're only attending one single festival and pouring one beer at that festival, doesn't matter. You have to pay it. So this fee caused 60 out-of-state breweries to drop out of that festival. 60.
Of course, yeah.
And that's a real problem when a key highlight of the festival is collaborations with breweries from around the U.S. and the world. So the whole point of it is to collaborate with, breweries from other states, and they're getting slapped with state fees. And since it's an all-volunteer festival with the proceeds going to charity, there's not really much that the festival can do to mitigate the costs. So you could say that the state government of Wisconsin, where the beer festival is being held, is stealing money from charities, and that's a great look for them.
Beautiful,
so,
beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
So, is there a reason behind it? Is it a pro Wisconsin beer thing? Is it just, hey, here's a way we can try and milk some money? Do they think craft breweries have money? Is that what's going on here?
I think yes, they think craft breweries have money. I think it's also inspired a little bit by tariffs, and they're trying to supplement money that they've lost by like, well, you know what? We can hit these out-of-state breweries. Nobody's going to care about them. Like, they're coming in, they got to pay us. So I think the tariff thing is catching on a little bit, and not for. I don't like this. I think this is stupid, but
I haven't liked it from the beginning, man.
No,
yeah.
I think this is. I think this is what's happening. I think it's moving within the states now. So
yeah,
you may see more of this in the future.
You look at festivals like we have here with the festivals that Good Word does, like Little Beer Fest and that. And these brewers, they're not paid, for what they do. They bring their beer and they bring their people in. It's all about the camaraderie. Get your name out there, collaborate, hang out with other brewers and that. They usually do go to support, some good causes there. And it's just unnecessary, man. Like you said, 60 breweries pulled out. They're like, look, man, we're paying to get our people there and, stay in hotels and cover meals and all this. We can't throw another $1,300 out here, $1,000. So it's unfortunate. Wisconsin, get it together. Seriously together.
Yeah. I don't think this is very popular at all. Sorry, go ahead.
Correct. That about wraps it up for us this week. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate it. If you enjoy what we're doing here, we would love for you to tell a friend to tune in, check out the show, maybe even subscribe. If you really like us, we'd love your support on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/beerguys. We'll get you some cool swag. We'll get you in the Discord server, and we will invite you to the after party each week. But with all that said, we hope that you all have a really good week, and don't forget to drink local. Cheers.
Idle Brewery.
Idle Brewery?
Yeah.
Over
Stephen
on
Pete,
Instagram.
how you doing, sir?
DJ Dub.
Dub.
Yeah, on Instagram was talking about that being basically starting a brewery, and I think he said it was a phone game or something like that.
Yeah, he's playing on his phone. He said it's addictive if you're a technical person.
Okay, gotcha.
Ooh.
Oh, this I'm not on Instagram right now, so this is one of our Instagram viewers there. Cool.
Yeah, I got it streaming on my phone. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, y'all, we are going to wrap it up here again. Thanks so much for hanging with us. We will put the link in our Discord if you want to come hang with us a bit for the after party and you're a Patreon supporter. Other than that, we will see you next week.